Let's start with the first step. Lily D. Nefertari of Princess Alibarna was a D erased from history. How many more Ds were erased from history? With Kuma mimicking the giant robot from 200 years ago, even Fisher Tiger before him. Bartholomew D. Kuma is coming, I promise. The fact he's being beat by other celestial dragons and slaves within the location of what we can presume to be Marijois, then celestial dragons and their hatred of Ds comes from an almost generational self-hatred if we follow the shared origin myth template that I'm suggesting here, because celestial dragons and Ds were the same clan. They simply underwent a coup. Nefertari D. Cobra's dying words to Saba was, "We're all Ds," in the presence of the Gorosei and the Great Mu, which was a name that Cobra remembered. He also remembered Nico Robin's recitation of Alibarna's historical poneglyph. Let's briefly go over that information again. In the Age of Heaven, year 306, a great temple was constructed. Then 19 years later, in 325, a great hero of Ulti appeared, and their name was Mahmudin. 86 years prior to the construction of the Great Taf Cathedral, Cairo was conquered by Alabasta. Now, Ulti is a city in Romania, and it was ruled over by Vlad Tepes. If we follow the Dracula connection to Vlad Tepes, then we can directly see that Ulti was a city of Wallachia, and that Dracula himself was the hero of Ulti in his own story. This is perfectly mirrored by Doflamingo's return to Dressrosa, because he directly refers to himself as a quote great hero. So vampires are directly canon in One Piece at this point, with Charlotte Dequise being biologically born with those wings, and his baddie sister Charlotte Gillette not being able to take the horns off, and even King Seki shows us that vampires are a very recessive gene, as Princess Komane does not have any fangs. But now we must also include Stussy, who is possibly eaten a devil fruit that turns her into a vampire type thing. If it was just a bat fruit, she would not be able to suck blood and put people to sleep. Stussy with her bad self is another vampire. Here's the joke. Dracula had 3 wives, and his first wife was Verona. Dracul Mihawk is forever with the ghost princess Herona. Emporio Ivankov even confirmed that the Nerona family is the family that Imu-sama themselves descend from. The name Nerona is a part of the Polish word Nero's torches, which was an 1876 oil on canvas painting, which was more famously known as the Candlesticks of Christianity. And we recently just found out about Vegapunk's invention of the Mazafremu, or the mother frame, or the main frame of fire. So it's very interesting that Emporio Ivankov, the Okama queen that directly connects us to Nero Claudius's burning of Rome, and the martyrs that were pinned for the burning of it. And through syncretism, Oda has magically connected the story of Nero Claudius, the story of the first bride of Dracula, and the dead princess of the Emerald City from the Wizard of Oz. He's that much of a master. Nerona family. These things rhyme, and it's intentional, because do you know the next time that I can rhyme right now is with Lily, TT, and Vivi. Zamaza Fremu directly reveals what Nerona is currently sitting on the throne. Freya Mu Nerona, mother Freya Mu Nerona. Freya in Norse mythology even had a chariot that was carried by 2 cats. The imagery was present even back in Skypiea with the black bird boat that Sanji was driving. And the connection of Mother Freya Mu Nerona connects the Bible Genesis to the Bible Progressio found in Ohara, meaning that the book that Ivankov is holding, and this is from a library of Ohara acknowledged Bible, where they had access to 2 out of the 3 of them. The one titled Genesis, which Ivankov is currently holding, and the other one, which was right beside the romance fiction of the Bragman called Progressio, which was the Asgardian dream to break out of the cycle of death, creation, and rebirth. Freya Mu Nerona is the vampire queen that possessed the body of her husband's sister, Queen Lily D. Nefertari. Why do I say husband? Because in an SBS, Oda directly cut himself off right before saying the word marriage when talking about the core theme of One Piece. The previous events that I just just stated though were foreshadowed in the 334 Big Trouble in the Secret Room. Do you see the giant snake? Do you see the party pose that the Straw Hats are partaking in? Do you notice the writing on the snake? Those are poneglyph writing texts. And do you see how many fish there are? There are 16 fish flying into that snake's mouth. This is symbolically telling us the process in which the great Mu Narona continues to retain their form.
A ritualistic cycle of equivalent exchange. Ivankov, being alchemically perfect, was referred to as the god of the queen world. Using that logic, Freya Mu Narona would be the god of the king world, or rather, the sky king world. Uranus, the planet all of them are standing on, literally.
So if immortality was the technique that the ancient kingdom was able to perform, harkening back to the Enel poneglyphs, where a quote light was being placed inside of these automatas and they're able to experience all forms of sentience, then this is just more evidence of the comic strength. Let me just break it down for you. Comics, myths, public personas, these all have individual weight and force, and they are all exactly like genetics, where they get stronger or weaker due to the Darwinian aspect of how time works. And this logic is also effective on memes as well, that also gain strength and crystallize over time. This is the core principle of Hermeticism. Names have power through perception. Mont Blanc Cricket and Jewelry Bonnie both refute the false narratives being placed upon their family names, that being Nolan the Liar and the Tyrant King Bartholomew Kuma. And funny enough, the name, your name, is an aspect of your soul in Egypt. Names have weight, and through your creative desires can you shape that imagination and feel that imagination into existence with your willpower or your haki. Regarding names though, the Alabastan poneglyph doesn't name a Nefertari on it at all. Deadass, where's the Nefertari younger brother that couldn't protect Lily D Nefertari? A D wiped from poneglyphs? It sounds a lot like Joy Boy, really. Nefertari D. Joy Boy wrote down these 13 poneglyphs that reveal the real history of the Void Century and what the One Piece is and how to get to it. How does one write onto indestructible metals though, seeing as how Roger needed the assistance of Kozuki Odin in order to do it? Well, the samurai on Wano are specifically able to perform something called Ryo, and that's not exclusive to Wano. It's just the applications of it have only been shown on Wano. So if you have a shared society of different civilizations, eventually techniques are going to be kind of blended over and kind of mix and match. Oda does this all the time, and this is called syncretism. These methods are the methods in which the Apology to Fishman Island was written. Yeah, Oda thought he was really sweet, hiding Nefertari Joy Boy, but don't worry y'all, I'm activated, I'm locked in. So let's review the information dumped onto us. Inside the room with the 5 Gorsei demons, yes, demons, they were demons before demon fruits existed. Cobra D Nefertari states there are no mentions of Queen Lily's name. She did not come back to rule Alabasta after visiting Merjua, and her little brother took the throne in Alabasta instead. Is there anything you might be able to tell us about her? Did you take that in? The mistake, the great blunder 800 years ago, was involving the Nefertari, a younger brother royal, and casting out the loathsome relics called poneglyphs in order to point pirates to where the One Piece is and reveal the true history that was erased 800 years ago. In fact, there are 26 poneglyphs in total, but only 13 detail the erased history and the path to the One Piece. Queen Lily D Nefertari's blunder was never being able to tell a good story. I firmly believe that she's been inspired by Scheherazade, and Joy Boy D Nefertari himself was inspired by Sinbad, conqueror of the 7 seas, a fairy tale that Scheherazade made up in order to quell the nightmares of a king in order to help him sleep so she was not assassinated. Now that we have the reveal of another founding family member, Mu of House Narona, through Emporio Ivankov in a book titled Genesis, we need to look at Impel Down and the Devil's Invitation. Panda Man. Prisoners randomly go missing, and Bon Pre refers to Eva as the god of the queen world.